Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Terrible Bull. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's get into it. So as many of you already know, there have been reports of a Chinese spy balloon hovering over different parts of the US for the past week, such as Montana, Hawaii, and South Carolina. No one really knows the reason why it's here, but there have been rumors. The suspected path the balloon took was said to have been hovering above military sites. After the first few sightings of this balloon, the US government acted immediately to protect against the collection of sensitive information. I wonder what kind of information they're talking about. US officials considered shooting the balloon down when it was above Montana, but decided against it due to concerns that debris could injure bystanders or destroy properties. After a few days of monitoring, Biden took matters into his own hands and told the US military to shoot it down, and they did so by a fighter jet once it was hovering over water.
Let's go. I think that's this one. Oh yeah! Here we go, baby! Get him! Get it! Yeah! Yeah! You hear it? The boom.
I just heard the boom. Yeah, you see shiny stuff.
He got the balloon and that was it.
I see shiny stuff.
As Navy divers work to recover debris from the downed Chinese spy balloon, a top general said that the US is investigating whether it was carrying explosives, describing it as 200 feet tall and weighing thousands of pounds with a payload the size of a jetliner. So of course, it raised concern. Air Force General Glenn D. Van Herk states, "So, I can't confirm whether it had explosives or not. Anytime you down something like this, we make an assumption that that potential exists. We did not associate the potential of having explosives with a threat to dropping weapons, those kinds of things, but out of a precaution, an abundance of safety for not only our military people and the public, but we also have to make assumptions such as that." If you think about it though, even if they did find such a thing, why would they tell the public? People would be going crazy if they found out that China was planning to do something with explosives towards the US. I'm sure the government wouldn't want that. The general's description followed a briefing by National Security Council spokesman John Kirby, who defended President Joe Biden's decision to wait and shoot down the Chinese craft until it was over South Carolina's coastline just the other day. He told reporters that, because the president decided they wouldn't shoot it down until he could do so safely, and that meant over water, that afforded us a terrific opportunity to gain a better understanding, to study the capabilities of this balloon. Biden ordered the balloon to be shot down a few days ago, but under the advice of the US military, it was held off until the other day, with the Air Force sending an F-22 fighter jet armed with an AIM-9X Sidewinder missile to do the job over water. The delay opened Biden up to political attacks from Republicans, many of whom demanded it be shot down above land shortly after it was first reported to be flying above Montana. Obviously, those who wanted that did not think about citizen safety or property damage. This thing was thousands of pounds, so imagine it falling out of the sky and landing on something or even someone. That would have caused more controversy than just simply waiting until it hovered over the water. Kirby also stated, "The time that we had to study this balloon over the course of a few days last week, we believe was important and will give us a lot more clarity, not only the capabilities that these balloons have, but what China is trying to do with them. It hasn't gotten a lot of attention, and I understand there's criticism over the fact that it traversed the United States. But again, we took steps to mitigate whatever collection capability that the balloon would have over our sensitive military sites." The White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre echoed the point during her briefing, saying, "Shooting the balloon down over water wasn't just the safest option. It might also maximize the chance of recovering the payload." She does make a good point. If the balloon did happen to hit land instead of the water, it would be damaged and most likely unrecoverable. Van Herk had mentioned that the majority of the debris had been collected, but there was a possibility some could come ashore, and warned people to call the authorities and stay away from it if they had come across it. Due to weather conditions, the undersea recovery efforts couldn't fully begin, even without all the pieces. Kirby argued that the remains of the balloon would be helpful to the US. He stated, "Our efforts to survey this balloon and what we will learn from the recovery will prove to be valuable." He declined to answer a question about whether Chinese President Xi Jinping had ordered the balloon mission or was even aware of it, and answered with, I would like to refrain from getting into any discussions about our intelligence assessments of this, and also stated that the balloon incident has done nothing to help improve the U.S. and China bilateral relationship. Secretary of State Antony Blinken was supposedly planning a trip to China around the same time as the balloon was spotted in the U.S., but decided to delay the trip because of the whole situation. Some people don't know that this is actually not the first time a Chinese spy balloon has flown over the U.S. Chinese balloons flew over the U.S. 3 times during former President Donald Trump's administration, with Biden administration officials saying that those flights weren't known about until after Biden had sworn in. Maybe he didn't think it was a big issue, or maybe he just didn't want everyone to know or worry about it. Kirby had said of the previous balloon incursions that none of them were like the one we have been seeing this past week in terms of duration. None of the balloons stayed in the air for over just a few days. Biden officials have said they would brief Trump-era officials on the balloon flights, but neither Kirby nor Jean-Pierre would say which officials would receive the briefings and whether that would include the former President Trump himself. What do you think about this whole situation? Do you think U.S. citizens should worry? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, and as always, thanks for watching.